Hi, my name is Amy.
Hi, I'm Lenan,
And welcome back to Bingeable Beans.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Crash Landing on You. And the show immediately starts off with the CEO named Sari. She goes paragliding, and then long story short, she ends up in North Korea. And that's where she met all these different North Korean people. She starts building a relationship with all these North Korean people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because she's stuck there. She can't go back right away.
yeah, they were trying to help her, but it was like time after another. Like each time, the thing just like fell off.
Like the plan?
Yeah, the plan of sending her back. Each time, it just didn't work out every single time.
Mm-hmm. She had no choice but to stay like at the house, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And she started building a bond with these like soldiers because in the beginning, when she first landed in North Korea, they were the ones that were trying to kill her, right?
Yeah, because I mean, typically,
Yeah.
that's what would happen if
Yeah.
some random person lands in North Korea. You're gonna be shot right away.
I don't know how they failed because I think all of them didn't do their job. Like I think one of the soldiers, we'll just call him the kdrama guy. He was watching. He was supposed to be watching like the cameras, but he was over there watching like a
K-drama.
He was like crying. He was distracted.
I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, he was distracted. So basically, they all did a bad job. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was distracted. I think the young one was like sitting in the bushes crying.
I love him too. And you know, so funny, like they were chasing after her, right? And they were like so confused how like she was like running through the mines, but she
Oh,
didn't step on
yeah.
like one single one.
Yeah, it like showed her running through all these like the whole field, right? And then it zooms out and it shows the sign of like that basically, oh yeah, this part of the field isn't checked yet, isn't cleared yet for mines. And they're just like flabbergasted. They're like,
Towards the end where she was like crossing the fence, did another soldier, we'll call him the hater guy, but because he like hates on her for some reason, but he was like, was he trying to kill her? Like he was trying to shoot at her?
yeah,
Right?
he was going to. But I think Captain Ri or somebody came in and like kind of stopped him. Yeah, because originally like the first person that she met was Captain Ri.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she lands on top of him.
Yeah. Why do
think-
you think that he let her go so easily? Because like he could have like stopped this whole thing from happening.
I mean, he was going to. He was pretty determined at the beginning because he is someone who like is really, really good at his job. You know, so he wouldn't let like something like a random woman get in his way of that. But I mean,
Like
the
he could
reason
just
was,
turned her in. Like
well, I think he was going to. But first of all, he stepped on a mine, so he had to get her help.
oh, do you think that's why?
That was like the start of it. I feel like, and then it was like just other like little factors. Obviously, it's so the story could go on. But I think it's like feasible.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know. And then like later on, she like held that against them. She was like, "You have to keep me alive, because otherwise, I'm gonna go telling you guys right now."
Oh yeah.
She's like, "You guys did a bad job." Blah, blah. She held it against them. And then
because like they have their own families and stuff. If they get like in trouble, like their family dies or something, or
yeah. But they just ended up letting her go. So like whatever happens to her. But coincidentally, whenever she was running away, she ended up running the opposite way. Instead of running towards South Korea, she ran like into North Korea and she went to the village.
Oh, yeah.
Where Captain Ri's house is.
Yeah.
And she coincidentally showed up right in front of his house.
Captain Ri's house.
Yeah. And then from there, I feel like they were just so deep in it that like they can't
Turn
go
her
back.
in.
Yeah, they can't turn her in anymore because they would get in trouble. Yeah. So from there, like they take her in, and he's like having to accommodate to her because she's like, remember, in South Korea, she's this rich CEO. She came from a wealthy family. She lives this very lavish lifestyle. North Korea is everything but lavish. So she's trying to tell him like, oh, I need a scented candle and this and that when I bath, and I need shampoo and conditioner. And he's just like, what? he's so confused. And then oh my gosh, I thought it was so sweet though, because he actually did try like helping her.
I think he felt bad for her. Like, oh, such a needy girl. Like, I think when he came back with all the stuff, she was like crying.
Yeah.
She was so scared.
her last straw was, she saw the candle. I'm pretty
he's
sure.
like, it's not even scented.
And he was like, there's a difference. he's so confused. He was trying. But then from there, like, I think because he continued to like kind of feel bad for her. But I did notice though, for her, she low-key dealt with it pretty well.
What, like North Korea?
yeah, like her situation overall, it's obviously very stressful. I can see some people, I mean, the fact that it's a movie, a show, that aside, but some people, they would like be crying like every day, you know, sitting in the corner. Yeah, like shaking. But I feel like she dealt with it pretty well because like Sherry has been through so much with her family, and like she's been alone her whole life. So now her like alone in this situation, it's like,
but it's different. Like her being alone is like different than being in North Korea.
I'm just saying maybe like through all those experiences, it's like made her a lot tougher, you know. So like obviously she's still stressed, but she's able to like handle it very well. She's also a CEO, so she knows how to like control it. Obviously, you know, at points like she was stressed, which I think that's why like the show is so good. They made it very realistic, you know.
Yeah,
because they showed points where like she's stressed out and then he's also like kind of like worried about what to do with her. They also didn't like, they were in love from like the first, but it like built up very naturally, I feel like.
When you mentioned like, oh, she dealt it pretty well, I agree, because like she was interacting with the other villagers that were in the village, like the neighbors and stuff. How there was a scene where she got caught basically because she was hiding and like no one knew that she was living in Captain Ree's house. And then just to like put it in there, like side note is that like that's a really big deal because you're not supposed to have, in North Korea, you're not supposed to have anybody else living in your house. If you do, you have to report it. That's why it was like a really big deal. And yeah, they were questioning her like, oh, why, like this and that, who are you, and stuff like that. And then Captain Reed just like, oh, this is my fiance, right? And so all the neighbors were like curious because they were doing house checks, right? And that woman, like, she was putting on makeup before she was like filling out Captain Reed's house. They think Captain Reed is really really attractive.
Yeah, because like in this village, Captain Reed is basically like the catch, you know. He's like the most good looking one. He's really good at his job, but he's also like, yeah, a very good, kind-hearted person.
Yeah.
And he's always like by himself. He's always like alone. I think that's what makes him like even more, because he's like so mysterious. He's like this good looking guy, but he's always kept to himself. He never like brings home a girl, so they're extra curious now. They're like, who, like, he has a fiance? Like, who won him over? Like, she must be like amazing or something.
So then the next day or so, they the ladies were like questioning her. I forgot what they asked, but I think they were inviting her to a birthday party, right?
Yeah, it was a senior colonel's wife's birthday party.
Yeah,
and they're trying to get her to come out, basically. I mean, the whole village, all the ladies were doing this together, and I guess it's like a thing that they do every year. But their purpose was to try to get her out, see how she is, get to know her. But then she's like, no thank you, I don't go to other people's BP or something like that.
Yeah, so her doing that like is good, like she should avoid. But when she was like interacting with them, she did it like so good. Like, I don't know why.
It's because she's a good talker. Like, I feel like it shows her true like businesswoman, you know. She knows how to talk to people.
Because her purpose was to get to get out of North Korea, but to get out of North Korea, she was trying to get Captain Ree promoted. So she was basically kissing for Captain Ree.
But because like the whole village, they thought that he was like, yeah, he's a captain, but that's compared to all the other rankings, that's not that high, you know what I mean? So all the soldiers too thought he was like not super powerful. They didn't know that he was the son of like this huge director. So they told her that, and she was like, oh, so he's powerless. Is that what you're saying? He doesn't have enough power, right? It's just so funny. So that's why she goes over there and she like helps with the dress, and then she's like commenting, and then she's like, oh, I don't sit next to pretty people. It was just so funny to see, because like we know how powerful he actually is. I don't know, their interaction, the relationship of Seri and Captain Ree was built so well. You know, you can see the moments where because he's a really cold person from the beginning, right? And then how she's portrayed at the beginning is she's kind of shallow. She's like, has to have it her way, and it's really bratty, kind of, you know? Slowly, you see like the other sides of them. Like Captain Ree, she noticed, oh, he's actually really caring, from the little things, like he remembers what she told him, like what she likes and stuff, and he went out of his way to get her all these extra things to make her feel comfortable. And then she sees how he interacts with other people as well, you know. First of all, what the villagers say about him, and then there was this one scene where there's a homeless kid. He like ended up, he was trying to like steal a shirt or something. And the soldiers were going after him like, hey, like, you're a thief, blah blah blah. But Seri comes out and she actually ends up giving, and her relationship with the soldiers over time was really cute too.
I love the scene where she was giving out them like awards. That was so cute. Like, even like, what's it called, she gave each one except for the hater guy and Captain Ree.
Captain Ree.
And even Captain Ree was like upset.
She was like, okay, the ceremony's over. He was like, what? It's so funny.
She gave she gave them options or like awards. What was the option? When was that?
she gave them the award, and then she gave them options like, oh, for this award you get to pick between, like the youngest one, he got to pick between corn or like money.
He picked corn.
It's so funny.
Oh yeah, and she gave the good-looking guy the good look. What's it called? What award? I don't know.
It was either like a hug or something.
Yeah, it's to be with her or something, like give her a hug or something like that.
Something I can't remember, but I do remember the K-drama guy. She gave him an option of meeting the actress that he really, really likes. And it was either that, between that or something that Captain Ri owns. So like whenever she said that,
he was
TV.
Oh,
Yeah. And Captain Ri was like, hey, you're kind of crossing the line here. And then she was like, trust me. Trust. And he was like, I want the date.
I just wanna be part of your symphony.
I think all of them, I'm not sure, but they didn't think that she was rich. Or like she had that connection,
they thought that she lied, especially the guy that hates on her. I mean, we're calling him hater for a reason. He hated on everything, like everything that she said and stuff. He'd be like, "You're lying, like you're not actually rich." And she'd be telling him about like her lifestyle in Korea, and he's like, "That's absurd. Like, what do you mean you eat 2 meals a day? What do you mean you only eat meat?" Like,
you're like hilarious. Or that she was like, "Oh, like there's like taxis like filled everywhere." He's like, "You're lying."
He's always trying to like defend North Korea. He's like, like y'all say y'all are so great, but y'all don't even have taxis. His laugh every single time too. He'd be like, but I love the relationship because like Seri's background, like her family, she had a lot of family issues. She basically didn't have one. She had brothers, but they were like of no good. And like the four soldiers kind of became like the siblings the siblings that she never had. It was so cute because later on too, as they got closer, they really cared for each other. When she got hurt or she went missing or something, they'd be like concerned. Even the hater guy, he'd be like kind of concerned too. And the poem that he wrote her,
I think out of all of them, I think the hater guy like cares for her the most. I
feel like it's almost as like sister brother thing. The way like she takes care of them too, especially like the youngest one, how they all take care of him.
Oh my
so
God,
cute. I love watching this show, especially the first half because it's so wholesome. Like everyone's interactions, even her interactions with the village people too. Like they're very, very loyal to each other. You know, and because Seri was very kind to these village people, they ended up like taking her side. They're always like defending her. I actually love that about this show is like how they portrayed like these North Korean people. You know, it wasn't like they're these horrible people, they're robots. It showed like they showed their care for all the villagers, care for each other, humanized. You know, because like a lot of movies that portray North Korea, it's
like robotic and they're dead.
There's no life in them. You know, they never show like relationships between the people, or it's as if like that's not even allowed. You know, and that reminds me too, though, is when this show first came out, it definitely was a topic of whether it was accurate or not, of like how North Korea was portrayed, because
I don't know about you, but when I watched it, I didn't think it was accurate.
Right, because it seemed so like happy.
It was too good.
Opposite, but then I was like looking more into it, and there was this. She's a YouTuber now. She escaped from North Korea. I feel like a lot of people know. I don't remember her name exactly, but I've seen her like interviews and stuff. She talked about it all the time. Her experience in North Korea. She was talking about how it was actually very accurate in the sense. Obviously it was a tad bit glamorized for the sake of like the show is a romance, you know, to make it more entertaining. But she said for the most part
everything's like pretty accurate.
For the most part, like how there's no advertisements everywhere you go. If there's a sign, it's a sign of like Kim Jong-un or like those people, you know. And then how she said the elementary school, how they like woke up in the morning, exercise together, everything is like together. You go to school together, you sing together. That was accurate. And black market part was very accurate. Like obviously like you're not supposed to have South Korean products and like all this fancy stuff, but like you could buy it like on the low key when you go to the market. And they show the city Pyongyang. It's like that really, really rich city that looks like a regular town.
Is it like for like the richer side of North Korea?
Yeah, it's the rich of the rich get to live there.
How are they rich? And then there's like these poor people. Like they just happen to be rich, or like they have like connections with.
It definitely stems from like generation after generation. You know what I mean? Because it's not I don't think North Korea isn't necessarily a place like, oh, you could climb the ladder.
It isn't.
Or you can only climb the ladder to some extent, you know. And then once you get to that point, you have to like be able to know certain people. She talks about it too in her video, how over there you have to have bribery. That's how it works. You have to bribe people.
So you kind of like to get around is like to have money.
Yeah, or like. It doesn't have to be money either, but you have to have something valuable enough to bribe people. I mean, they do portray this too, though, how like you have to work up the ladder. Like for example, the Lieutenant Cho, whatever, the bad guy, the main like bad guy, he had to do that. You know, he couldn't just climb up the ladder. He had to like do all of these like nasty things to
Be where
even
he
get
is.
a chance. Not to even get a chance to like go up there. You know, he has to do all these sketchy stuff. Like that's why he attacked Captain Ree's family in the first place, so he could climb up the ladder. Yeah, and it's not something that like you could just climb the ladder. Unlike over here, you know what I mean? You could like work your way. If you work hard, you meet certain people. It's like
You're saying that in North Korea, a way to climb ladders be shady?
I mean that's the only way.
Only way?
I mean that's how it's displayed in the show too. You know, it's very very difficult. How would you climb the ladder otherwise?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And like if you come from a poor family, to climb the ladder you have to go get an education. You know, but if you come from a poor family, how would you possibly?
It would be like really
do that?
difficult.
Yeah,
like hard.
how would you possibly do that? You know,
Uh-huh.
I wanted to talk about though. It's like it's like accurate. I do really think it is accurate as long as you keep in mind that like all the stuff they're showing is only available to the top of the top. Pyongyang city in general, like them showing all of that, you know, him being able to get her that passport picture and like like having the phone cards to bribe the people to get her on the boat. All the stuff that you see that seems like kind of nice. Is because he is part of that top 1 or less than top 1% of Korea. You know,
Yeah.
the regular everyday people, they don't get to live like this. This would not have worked out if the people were poor.
Yeah.
If the couple was poor.
Yeah. Wow. She happened to pick the best person ever.
She landed on the right guy.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Bro. Because like, if you think about Seri too, if she wasn't from a wealthy family, it wouldn't have worked out. I feel like it's more important that Captain Ri was from a high status.
No, yeah, for sure.
Otherwise she would have died. Oh, because he's like of this high status class, he was more like confident protecting her. You know what I mean? He has someone to back her up. He has access to these different ways of hiding things or like going around, you know? Because otherwise, if it was a regular soldier, for example, there's nothing that you can do. Everything is at stake.
So you would probably be dead already.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Whenever I'm talking about Captain Ri's like high status, I compare it to like the soldiers and then the rat, the one that is like spying on.
Oh, yeah,
everyone.
the rat.
I compare like their relationship, or not their relationship, but like the difference between them two, because like
Captain Ri and the rat?
he was like the rat.
He doesn't have nothing on his name, right?
Yeah, he can't do anything. He only has to listen, or he has no other option but to like keep listening to these people because he's not
Doesn't have
of high status.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like. Out of everybody, obviously, like down the line, I feel bad for the main characters and everything. It's very tragic, very tragic. But I felt bad for the rat the most.
No,
Yeah.
me too, because he was getting beat up. Well, he's forced to like do things for the main bad guy, but all the other people hate him too, like because
Well, since he was little. Oh, no, because of his job.
yeah, because his job.
Yeah, right.
And like it was so sad, like he's getting beat up like no matter what everywhere.
And his wife always has to like reinforce him that like you're just doing your job. Like, it's not your fault, you know. Like you're just doing what you're being told. And then the part like this is like kind of way later down the line when he meets Captain Ri and stuff.
Yeah.
He obviously like feels really bad. So first of all, to like background of it is that the rat guy he was friends with Captain Ri's older brother that got in the accident.
Yeah.
So Captain Ri's older brother Myu-hyuk was the rat's only friend, and he was the one that like helped the rat with his family issues and like his baby especially. So like Myu-hyuk, the whole family, like Captain Ri's family, they're very like kind-hearted people.
Yeah.
Even though they're of like high status, and because of that, and like because he has this close relationship with Myu-hyuk, he kind of holds this guilt in him, like kind of like the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Almost, because he blames himself. At least he blames himself because he was the one that told the bad guy exactly when Myu-hyuk was leaving and like all the details about Myu-hyuk for them to execute the quote-unquote accident.
He thinks that he's the reason why he died.
Yeah, the reason why Myu-hyuk died. Yeah. So he kind of holds that, and then finally he met Captain Ri, and he finds out like that's his younger brother. So he feels really, really bad.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually he comes around and he talks to Captain Ri and stuff. And then he was saying how like, oh my gosh, well this is a little later, but whenever he finally talks to Captain Ri, right, he kind of broke down. He was like, oh, your brother was like a really good person. He was like, he was my only friend, and he like started crying, and he was like, and I miss him. And that was so sad. And then when he was talking with his wife, he was like, why is it that like I have to be loyal to these like horrible people, the people who treat me like humans, I have to betray.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to follow orders of like these horrible people.
Yeah.
That I feel like he really displayed the reality of North Korea. The
Yeah,
best.
yeah. That's how I would see North Korea.
Yeah, kind of like we're forced to, but then he would still have that relationship with his wife and like with his kid, you
Yeah.
know, and he kind of has to do this for the sake of his family.
Like, this is kind of off topic, but if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have a kid because he kept using his family as a like.
Oh yeah, but I feel like because in North Korea,
Are you
they
forced to
don't-
have kids?
maybe
Really? I think so.
because they're
That
like
sounds
low
about right.
population.
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Probably.
Like they're like, or not forced, but like they're like recommended
Pushed?
to get pushed and brainwashed.
Maybe. Oh, we're not. Facts not straight about
Yeah.
that.
No.
but-
Yeah.
You remember that scene, that boat scene where Captain Ri was taking Seri like back, or they were attempting to take her
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
right? And then like the lieutenant, whoever, like caught them on the boat.
Yeah.
And then like the captain who like drove them out was like defending them, like he's just trying to. They were just trying to help.
Yeah.
Continue on North Korea's population.
Yeah. Captain Ri and Siri were like in the boat, right? And
Yeah.
like the only way they could disguise their plan
And
was
they're like a couple.
Yeah.
And like they're just like getting away.
Yeah,
Like,
it was so funny because whenever that lieutenant was trying to kick them out, like tell them to go back, right?
Uh-huh.
She's like, "Wait, we need more time."
she's like, she just meant like more time so that like they
could
could
escape,
escape,
but,
but like
like,
did not come off. Like,
Yeah, he's boy, just go back.
he was like, that's enough.
Yeah.
Y'all had enough fun time.
Yeah,
Fast forward to the end of episode 8.
yeah,
This is when I feel like the biggest turning point of the show really happens. Like things start to get very serious and like reality hits them. Like the not reality. Of course they knew like the whole time the situation's very serious, but we're unsure if she's gonna be able to get back or not at this point
Yeah.
because Captain Lee's dad ends up kidnapping her, but because like he found out about her and he just kind of like wants to know. But episode 8 ended off with her in the phone call. We didn't know that it was Captain Lee's dad yet, so when that, because it also ended with like a shot. There was
A
a sound of
gunshot?
a gunshot,
Through the phone
and then
call?
the phone like ended, and he's like,
Captain Ri was panicking.
yeah, and then we were like, what?
Yeah, we're left. We don't know what's gonna happen.
we don't know how she's gonna get back at that point. But
it's really complicated right now.
yeah, things start going down south, quite
Yeah.
literally. Quite literally, actually. But yeah,
We're so stupid. That was good though.
so yeah, stay tuned for the next episode where we go down
Go
south
south
with them. Okay,
Bye.